It's God, man, and the earth, and that's the beauty and all the magic of wine. Careful, Rodrigo, move. I'm getting off the ground.
You're going to tell me. Our journey brings us here today to the Champagne region in France. See you soon, this enchanted place which produces a magical drink. I'm going on this trip accompanied by Marina Giuberti, who's here by my side. It's great to have you with us.
Marina, glad to be here with you.
She is a Brazilian sommelier with a long history here in France.
It's already been 18 years in France.
We've already done a special together, right, Marina? Talking about the wine of Jesus. What was the wine like in Jesus' time?
Certainly natural wine without any additives. Wine that was made from fermented grapes with a lot of energy, and also with good energy and the energy of the struggles of that time. So each bottle is unique because the wine is alive.
Marina has a long history with the Catholic faith. She is very connected to religion.
I thought I was gonna die, so I had exactly the feeling that in 3 or 5 minutes I wouldn't be here anymore. And then at that moment I started having convulsions. But I still remember being in like a kind of tunnel where my late father was on the ceiling, as if he was saying, I'm here, everything is okay. But I was still in that maternal state of having just given birth to 2 children.
And you're going to leave them because you're going to die.
I can't leave them. It's not the time.
There's something I think is really cool that you tell your students, which is a metaphor about the vine in human life.
The vine is a plant that copies the human genome. It's a plant that's just like a human being. It will live for about 80 years. It is born, grows, evolves, is fertile, and it needs, in order to become good, to suffer, right? We have children. Yeah, people. Yeah, we have children. If you spoil the child, they become unbearable adults, right? So we have to say no to our children.
But we also learn from life, from the hardships of life, from losses.
Right, it gets better later, through the setbacks. And the vine is exactly like that. The more it suffers, the better wine it produces.
What does it mean to suffer? Is it too much sun?
It needs to make an effort to find its own nourishment. So imagine for us, what is our nourishment? It's our salary, our work, right? Sometimes a person doesn't value what they get handed to them. The vine is like that. The deeper its roots search for the nutrients that will feed it, the better the wine becomes. And that's how humans are. I say this, you fought for a career to have something divine, something no one can take away from you.
Or any career, right?
Anyone? Even in a relationship, right? If I wanted that wife or that husband, I had to fight to make the marriage work.
And when the vine gets older, it's just like us, it gets more experienced. On one hand, the body gets older, but the mind gets wiser.
Let's put it this way, it will produce grapes of very high quality, even more so as it gets older, but the production decreases a lot. So old vines, which we call vieja e vinha, will produce higher quality wine. That's why you see labels saying vieille vigne, so it's a better wine. But after a certain age, like 30 or 40 years, it will be producing very good wines. And of course, when it reaches around 80 years old, it will produce good grapes, but the yield is very small.
Until the day it dies?
Until the day it dies and will have to be replanted and life goes on.
Just like us.
Just like us.
Marina is bringing us here to visit Champagne Drappier, which has something very special, a very special cellar down here that was built back in the time of Bernard of Clairvaux.
Yes, their cellar dates back to the Middle Ages and is directly connected to the monks.
Since St. Bernard's time in the abbey in this region. We're going to visit it, right? Let's see everything. That's it. sound he likes, huh? Yes, yes, yes. In Champagne, when we hear that sound, we say someone is calling me. And how did you become part of the family here? So, the Drapier family has been in Champagne for several centuries. We were originally cloth merchants, drapery. Cheers, cheers. 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 To your health. To your health. Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. It's been an hour and a quarter, Maria. Thank you. I'm going to make you talk. Go on. There's a specialist here among you. Specifically in wine, or at least you know wine well. So it's him, it's Ego, the specialist. Today is Ego's day, the specialist. He's the one who makes the wine. We work together. Dad is the boss. He's the one who has the final say. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We just go along with it, that's all. It's more for harmony. And we work together, we often taste together. So I'm going against you, I'm with Charlene, with Antoine. We all do this as our main job. You who were there, it was the Palerons. Very good question. This was an annex of the Clermont Abbey. Saint Bernard, that's him, all the customers are here, the Drapier family is here, but the most important one is him, because he was the one who was in Burgundy and who brought with him the Pinot Noir grapes from Burgundy to Champagne. And he settled in Champagne with a piece of land that was given to him. Thibault, Count of Champagne, gave him a piece of land, and he brought some small vines. And he planted the vines here, because the Romans had planted all kinds of vines here. In Roman times, we're talking about 2,000 years ago, the Romans brought vines here, that's it, 2,000 years ago. But there were all kinds of grape varieties, some more interesting than others. And he said, I want Pinot Noir, because it's a great Burgundy grape variety, to make great red wines. And so Pinot Noir was planted here in the 12th century. So Bernard was interested in wine, of course, because he was at Citeaux, which owns Clos Rougeot. Clos Rougeot is the greatest wine of Burgundy from the Abbey. So he had knowledge of wine, and he wanted to produce wine, because all the abbeys had wine production. That was important. Because red wine, the blood of Christ, had to be perfect for Mass, except they planted vines, and just a small glass for Mass wasn't much. So after that, they drank, they had friends and friends of friends, and then they did business, they sold the wine. And that's how he built our cellars here. In the 12th century, in 1152, he built our cellars here, because he built more and more cellars and planted vines. That's it. And that was the Cistercian order for several centuries. For you, how do you see Saint Bernard? What is he to you? What does he mean to you? Well, I would like to have the answer from my children too, but I'll tell you, for me, he's a great inspiration because he's a Cistercian. A lot of work, very disciplined, really no frills, no money, but a lot of work, and the money is reinvested in running the business, in building the cellars. But at the same time, he really enjoyed pleasures. The pleasure of wine, the pleasure of food, but an intelligent pleasure. A pleasure not about getting drunk and falling dead on the floor. 900 years after his arrival. We still have the same grape variety, we have the same framework, and we continue in this kind of tradition. Champagne in particular is a wine of spirit. Because it has been scientifically proven, doctors have scientifically proven that champagne, its carbon dioxide, rises into the sinuses and gives more joy to the head. And it's a wine that goes less into the veins and into the body. Burgundy cognacs are things that warm the body, you know. Bourbon, Burgundy, cognac, no, never. It's very good, but it's something else, And champagne, it's something that goes to your head. And when you drink champagne, your eyes sparkle, your sinuses sparkle.
Story, who is Louis XIV?
Yes, we started serving wines from this region here to Louis XIV. And there were indeed wines that were served at Versailles, of course. But Louis XIV, he had everything, all the fruits, yes.
It's thanks to him, after all, that champagne arrived.
On the royal table. It became very rich, And this room here was originally built at the end of Louis XIV's reign in 1663. And it was at that time, really at that time, that sparkling wines from Champagne started at Versailles. It was the first ambassador because everyone came to Versailles. And then you think, what is this? And actually they called the wine Saut de Bouchon, because when they opened it, the cork would pop like that. And it was joyful and more.
It was the wine of kings because Reims was the place where kings were crowned.
That's what
he does for...
Give a little champagne to the child, his daughter, for the birth. It's true. Yeah, it's given. The first thing my children drank when they came out of the womb was champagne. It's true. After milk, it's champagne. The thing that's worrying, it's just a drop. Take the glass, dip your finger in and put a drop on it.
Do you sell the milk?
Yes.
Thank you. If you want, let's see. If you want.
If you're enjoying this video, take the opportunity to like it and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to go deeper and support Jornada Infinita, check out our courses at rodrigovares.site. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Rodrigo.
Where exactly are we?
We are in our cellars, what we call our caves.
Are circle and cave different?
Yes, the circle actually means the ring around the barrels, and it's the name we use in Champagne for the place where we age the wine and where we use all these barrels to make our champagne.
The name of this cuvée here, permission, is because they give the wine permission to live here, right? In reference to the prison, it was during the revolution. But it can also store this wine, let this wine age for a long time. It can still wait at the buyer's or taster's home, and it can be opened. That's a question everyone asks. Should you drink the wine now or should you wait? It depends. There's no 100% correct answer. In this case, she said this wine permission, we give it permission to be released, but you can wait. And there are other wines that we're going to try that are made to wait a long time, and when they decide to put them on the market, they're already ready, and it can be risky to wait.
Why is this cork different?
This one is still wine, meaning wine without effervescence. This is the base wine for Champagne, right?
It's wine that's neither champagne nor still wine.
Still wine and Champagne wine. For a long time it was still until a monk transformed it and discovered sparkling wine. And it only makes a mess when you open it, okay? It's normal, there's no problem, and handmade wine like this, sealed with this wax here, is always special because it's a lot of work to seal it this way, you know. So I always say, if you're in doubt between two bottles, you don't know anything, you have another profession, you're not in the wine business, and there's one with wax and one without, pick the one with wax because it's something special.
Someone made it with the intention of storing it.
Someone made it with the intention of storing it. Someone made it with the purpose that this wax, it's not a capsule like this one here. It allows the wine to breathe and exchange with oxygen that's different. Wow, the bouquet is sublime.
It's 100% Pinot Noir, and before making white wines here from Pinot Noir, we used to make red wines here.
Marina, my understanding as someone who just likes to taste and doesn't really understand is that it's an acidic wine. I really feel connected to that stone we saw, not the earth itself, but that minerality, yeah.
Ratichias. I was just about to ask, since we have the opportunity to be here with Charlene, which is rare, to taste the wine with the person who makes it. Actually, it has a stable-like aroma, a scent that reminds you of natural wine. And probably this one from 2018 is a wine I can decant. Wait an hour and it will change, unlike older wines. And this is the nose, which for a taster who doesn't understand much yet, might be surprising. Yes, it's the nose, it's the aroma of natural wine, which is the aroma of nature. It's like someone who always drinks coffee with sugar and suddenly tries it black.
This is coffee without sugar.
This is coffee without sugar. Sometimes people say it's not good, it's not right. No, wait, sometimes you just don't have the knowledge yet to understand it, but that's natural wine. Nowadays, we live in such a superficial world. Everything is like that. People have to be extremely filtered, showing something they're not naturally, and that's how wine is.
It's the opposite. It's natural.
It's natural, and this one is good for your health. Yeah. Rodrigo, this is a great privilege, and what we're doing now, tasting still wine in a family cellar, is the whole story of champagne. Champagne was discovered by chance. It wasn't an invention, it was a discovery.
During Bernard of Clairvaux's time, it was this wine?
It was neither champagne nor sparkling. Oh, the wine was called champagne, right? It was called wines from Champagne, right? Wines because champagne is wine, either still like this one, which isn't sparkling or sparkling. But it was there at the end of the 18th century, 1700, 18th century, 1780. Around that time, a monk who was responsible for the Abbey of Auvilliers, who was Dom Perignon, saw these bottles exploding and bursting, and he went to drink. The bottles were exploding. The bottles exploded because of the atmospheric pressure. They couldn't withstand that pressure.
And he said it's not good.
No, he drank it, and quite the opposite. He drank it and said, "I'm drinking stars." He liked it and thought it was magical. And that's when champagne was born, from a monk, right? The monks studied a lot. They were precise. Celui-là.
It's the perpetuities. Perpetuity. What he's explaining is that, well, this wine is called perpetuity because in the same bottle we have several harvests, wines from different times, that they keep and blend together to make this wine.
And this name, perpetuity, is a tribute they made to the abbey here, which was a prison at the time. But the method, Rodrigo, is called Solera. In the wine world, we call it the perpetuity method. It's Solera. Each year, a little bit of wine is added and it becomes something unique. Actually, the champagne legislation allows it to be sold after 15 months. But this 15-month champagne isn't really enough time. Like everything in life, as we were talking about life, the vines, everything needs time for you to reach your goal, to gain something, to become resilient and strong. Champagne is no different, right? Here we'll taste some very special champagne, but not after 15 months, since 15 months only leads to mediocrity. Here it's 4 years, and every good champagne will never stay just the minimum required by law. It will always stay much longer.
Why did you show up with that sword in your hand?
This is a saber, not a sword, a saber from that time. My ignorance. This is from Napoleon's time, and this one is actually real. It really belonged to the subjects, the companions of Napoleon Bonaparte. It belongs here to the Drapier winery. And Napoleon used to say something, which is something we need too. He said that champagne, we need it in defeat, but we deserve it in victory. In other words, always, at every moment. And in honor of France and the Champagne region, we're going to saber this bottle here. Be careful, Rodrigo, step aside.
Is this sword magical? It's magical, you know?
As far as I know, Napoleon's saber. This one's real, okay?
Look, Marina cut it perfectly here.
There's no wrist from the glass.
For this?
Marina, it takes training. Look, you need to have practice, so if you're not used to it, don't do it. But here, Rodrigo, come closer, come here, come closer. Do you see the seam in the glass? We have to identify it. Be careful up here because you can get hurt here. But this seam in the glass is the weakest part of the glass. And knowing where it is, that's exactly the spot where my saber has to hit. That's the secret. Telling everyone here, perfect. Okay. And the bottle has to be really cold. If it's warm, there's a risk of breaking the bottle and getting hurt. And one thing I tell everyone to be careful about is that there's no risk of glass getting in. But once I open my bottle, this here is a weapon, okay? So this glass here can cut, so someone needs to take care of the job.
Never do it, not this.
There's a mousse here that's very delicate, and that's what makes the beauty of the aromatic profile. It's the touch of the glass.
That's very important what she said, Rodrigo. Look, she's saying that the feel of the effervescence is extremely refined. And that's a factor related to the quality of the champagne here at Maison de Drapier, which we're visiting. But there's another factor too, Rodrigo. You know those long, narrow flutes we're used to? That's not ideal. The ideal one is this glass right here, look.
I was going to ask why we're drinking champagne in a glass that looks like a wine glass.
It's a universal wine glass. It's such magnificent champagne with a lot of aroma, high quality. We need the aromas to get some air. I need this oxygen coming in here so I can enjoy it.
And why does everyone think champagne should be drunk from the other glass?
Good question. For a long time, people drank champagne from the coupe. The coupe, legend has it that the coupe was molded after Marie Antoinette's breast. That's the story. That's why for centuries we drank that way. But for a very long time, the coupe was replaced by the flute, which had a festive feel and a different shape. And people think it's better for champagne, but it's not. And so now, for several years, we've known that it's better to drink from wine glasses.
I think people got some wrong information at some point. We're talking here about prison, about abbey. And they wanted to imprison effervescence to prevent it from getting out. But there's no point in locking up the effervescence because we need oxygen to reveal the aromas. And that's why this glass here is ideal.
This is a label that I drew, and I was a little inspired by the Bible of St. Bernard. I created it. It's in the style of an illuminated manuscript. St. Bernard was someone who loved nature very much, especially the forest. He was someone who was inspired, not someone who inspired others, and he didn't want to represent animals or the human realm. He wanted God to be incarnated only in nature. And above all, it's a philosophy that fits well with Drapier. That's why I chose this.
What about the rules here? You mentioned them in the car. There are a lot of rules for the producers here. Rodrigo?
There are many rules since each wine region, like Champagne, where it's the CIVC, the Interprofessional Committee of Champagne Wine, has its own. They will determine the official first day of the harvest. So even if you want to have your team of producers all ready to start harvesting, you can't. It's determined by a laboratory that will analyze the grapes, the fructose, and that's so we can drink good champagne.
And the amount of grapes per vine?
The amount as well. Each little grapevine there, look, we're in spring, it will have a bud that we call bourgeon. This little bud will turn into a bunch of grapes. And you can't let there be too many bunches, because otherwise the nutrients get diluted and the quality of the grape isn't good and the wine ends up diluted.
You were making a comparison. Did you have twins? Yeah.
I have twins. So I say that in my body with twins. The babies weighed 2 kilos each, but there were 2 of them, right?
So it was 4?
Yeah, it was 4 kilos just of babies, plus the placenta and fluid. And one day, even a doctor said, wow, you had a baby weighing 2 kilos. What happened? At 9 months? Then I said, no, wait, they were twins. Then she said, oh, okay. And the vine is like that. It's very similar to us, to humans, because if there are too many bunches, it won't produce bunches with enough nutrients. So the person who works together with nature, the wine we drink, it's this combination. It's God, the person, and the land. And that's the beauty and all the magic of wine. You know, God is here in this climate, which will determine the sun, the rain, and people will work with that and the force of nature.